Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I'm so glad you're here with me. This is a video as opposed to a live. As you all know, I didn't do my Tuesday night live. Just very quickly, I'm not going to get into details, but Tuesday my son went to a doctor appointment, had an issue. They sent him in an ambulance to the emergency room of a hospital. And the hospital ended up keeping him overnight for observation. He's fine, but it was kind of a frightening experience for both of us because he's only 31. And yeah. So anyway, the heart has checked out, so that is good. But we don't know what caused the incident he had. But anyway, he's okay. So we're okay. But I'm just like really a couple days behind here. So just a reminder before I get into the purpose for this video, which is sharing the projects we would have done on Tuesday night. This is, Nyx is having her party. It's still going on till September 30th, and I just want to remind you of that. Here is her host code, so if you could please place an order through her party, we would both really appreciate it. It'll help Nyx get some beautiful things that she might want. And of course it helps me because I get a percentage of every order as a demonstrator. And if you're interested in joining my team to learn more about that, just email me, or if you're on Facebook and you have me as a friend, then just message me and I'll be glad to talk to you about that. Okay, so also I just want to let you know it's too late to get the Halloween paper pumpkin. I'll be showing that in the next video, the unboxing and make as intended. And that'll be today, which is Thursday. I'm trying to get two videos up for you today, and then hopefully there will be two tomorrow also, shorter ones tomorrow. The next two paper pumpkins though are going to be fabulous. Look at the colors. They look like Pool Party, and I don't know if this is crumb cake or soft suede maybe. And anyway, the first kit is supposed to be 10 full size, meaning A2 size cards, and the second kit, so this is September 11th to October 10th. You have to sign up before October 10th for Paper Pumpkin to be able to get this. It looks really cute. It's got a cardinal up here and some trees. I'm really loving the looks of these for winter cards or Christmas cards, I guess, or holiday cards. I'm not sure. And then this one, which you can get if you're already signed up and you stay signed up, October 11th to November 10th. So this is the November kit, which will ship out on or around the 11th or 12th of November. This is the October kit, which will ship out on or around the 10th or 11th, I mean the 11th or 12th of October. This one is supposed to be 24 tags that coordinate with this one, so you don't want to miss out. I don't know, I've only been with Paper Pumpkin for about a year, a little over a year, so I don't know if they've ever done coordinating kits like that in the past, but wow, I'm really looking forward to it. I see snowflakes on this, and like the sort of like the birch look in the background, wood grain, so, and Pool Party again. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you are too. So if you're interested, it's $22 a month plus tax. The shipping's included if you do the month to month. If you'd like to prepay for 3, 6, 12 months, there's information on that on the website. That you would sign up through Stampin Up, and you can use the host code if you do a prepay, because you pay through Stampin Up. There is shipping added, but it's still a good deal. You'll still save money on the 6 and 12 month ones anyway, even with the shipping, and there will be of course tax. But that way you're guaranteed your kit. You sign up through Stampin' Up, and then you have to go put the code they send you for Paper Pumpkin into the Paper Pumpkin site to get your kit. And if you need help with that, I'd be glad to help you too. But if you do that, prepay, then Nyx, you can use Nyx host code when you're checking out, because it just goes on your regular Stampin' Up order. So think about that. And then last, well, not lastly, but also going on right now, it's buy 3 get 1 free. Not all papers, but it's the Designer Series paper sale. And there are papers out of the annual catalog. Not all of them, but a good bit of them. Like Perennial Essence, See a Silhouette, Come Sail Away, Magnolia Lane, Garden Lane, which I don't have those two, Follow Your Art, Woven Threads, Dinah Roar, I also don't have that one, Bird Ballad, and Pressed Petals, Specialty Designer Series paper. So if you're interested in any of these, great time to get them because they are buy 3, get 1 free. So you'd be saving $11.50 or $14.50 depending on which one. Okay? And then the only other thing is, of course, we have the holiday catalog going on right now. And we're going to be working with this suite right here, which is the Toile Tidings Suite. It has the cardinal, it's got the wreaths and things. So we're going to be using that suite. You can also find that. Well, if you turn in, they have a bundle index. So these two bundles within the suite bundle we're going to be using. And then on page 6, 7, and 8, and 9, 6 through 9, you can see more about the Toile Tidings Suite. See here. So there's lots of, just something I wanted to point out, there's lots of examples, especially for this suite, because you've got some on the front. You've got a couple examples here. You've got examples here of what you can do with the 2 stamp sets or 2 bundles, if you will, with the dies in this suite, plus the Toile Tidings Designer Series paper. There's even wrapping paper. There's this beautiful ribbon that I have right here. There's a ruched red ribbon, which I don't have, but I do have the red cotton ribbon that's in the annual catalog that goes with it as well. And then these beautiful Toile Tidings glitter enamel dots. They are so sparkly. Can you see the sparkle in them? They are just gorgeous. Different light there, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so beautiful things. You can get both stamp sets and both die sets, or both bundles, if you will, plus one of everything else here for $144.50, or you can buy things individually. I bought the bundles separately, and I got them at 2 different times, plus the paper, this ribbon, and these separately. I didn't get these 2 things because I didn't really want the wrapping paper, although it would be good for things. They give you a better look. Here's more examples of the Tidings All Around stamp set that has a coordinating die. And they give you a closer up picture of the beautiful papers that we're going to be using. And here's a larger image of the Toile Christmas with the Cardinal stamp set. And we're going to be using, I think I used everything in that except for these 2 swirly kind of things, which I don't know if you can see. Anyway, and then I did use the wreath. I also used the dies, which produce this kind of thing here, and some of the sentiments and things out of this set. So that's what we're going to be using. So again, as I'm going through and showing you my samples, if you would like anything, please jot down what it is and head on over and shop through Nick's Party good through the 30th. We would both greatly appreciate it. So let me move that out of the way for a minute. I'll put it up further a little bit so you can maybe still see the number, but I have room to share my makes with you there. So that's Nick's Party host code. This is the first card that I did. Most all of these except 2 are, well, 3 out of 5 are going to be on thick Whisper white cardstock. It's a nice thick, probably about 110 pound cardstock. We're also, the colors that this designer paper coordinates with are Very Vanilla, Real Red, and Garden Green. So that's what I tried to use most of. So this is Real Red, and I have run it through, well, first I cut this out with the stitched rectangle dies that are in the annual catalog. They are a carryover from the Occasions catalog from 2019. And I used the largest two, so I used these two. So I used this one for the red, and then this one for this designer series paper. And then after I did that, I ran the red one through the subtle embossing folder, which you're not going to be able to see really well, but see, it just has a little bit of texture, like nubby, I guess is the right word, plus striations in it. So I love that one. And I used that on the real red. And I also used, another one. That's not the right one. I think it was this one. And cut out, and cut out another stitched rectangle, just red in the background here. Now that I did not run through the subtle embossing folder. Okay, so then the next thing I did is, I don't remember, I did also use, that's the same one as this, to cut out a piece of Very Vanilla here, and the largest one again to cut the real red out, which was maybe, no, I don't think that was run through the subtle embossing folder. So real red and just Very Vanilla. And okay, so then I did the cardinal. Now I stamped him, and that is called Toile Christmas, and here he is. Just beautiful, isn't he? I love cardinals, and I do have them around here. The coordinating dies cut him out, and I stamped him in real red, and then I used my blends in light and dark real red. So this is the light. I mostly use light. I used dark Mango Melody for his beak. And I used actually a little bit of the light black in here, and then I kind of filled in with some of the real red marker. These are the alcohol markers. They're called Stampin' Blends. You can get them individually, and they come in, each color that's available comes in dark and light. And then they have a combo. I suggest you get the combo, that way you get the light and dark. It's the same price basically, because they're $4.50 each or $9 for the combo. I would just, it's good that way you can blend the light and the dark together, and you have both when you get them. So if you don't have alcohol markers, and these have a brush tip which looks like this, which is really best for using for larger areas, like, and I did use that to do a good bit of the cardinal, but when I got down into the tail, I switched to the what I call the nub end, and it looks like that. Okay, so smaller areas use the nub end, larger areas use the brush end. Okay, so that's the Stampin' Blends, and they're in the annual catalog. Okay, then I die cut him out after I stamped him and colored him. Then I stamped the branch here, and I stamped that in, I want to say, Early Espresso. I colored the branch in soft suede, and then I don't have blends in Garden Green, so I actually ended up using dark Old Olive, I believe. Yes, this color, yep. And then the berries, though, are in real red, and I put a little bit of Wink Estella on the berries. This is the banner that's in the Toile Christmas Wishes, and I stamped that in Garden Green, but I wanted it to pop off this background. That's why I put it on the red stitched rectangle. And I didn't color it in or anything, you know, because I had tried one, and I tried coloring this in back here that's supposed to look like the back of the ribbon. I didn't like it, so I just left it like it was. And then I just put 3 of the sparkle, they're not called sparkle, they're called Toile Tidings glitter enamel dots, which are really glittery looking in them, so I love them. And you probably do need a tool to get them off the sheet because they're really on there good. And I use this flat end or this putty end, which there is still putty in there. There it comes. And a trick to that, you only want to turn it a little bit, because if you turn it too much, the putty will keep coming out. Okay, so just give it a little tiny twist, and that's enough. Okay, so then I already gave you a glimpse of the inside. This is the stamp out of the Toile Christmas 2 down here. May this season be filled with beautiful moments and happy memories for you and those you hold dear. Before I glued this down, I took the cardinal stamp again, and I just stamped down in the corner here the cardinal once again. I think that looks really good. So that's the inside. That's card number 1. So then I wanted to show you a sampling. Consider this a sampling of what you can do, because I tried to use as many of the stamps as I could. And in this particular case, in 2 cards, I've used every stamp except these 2 swirly things. So, and I'm also trying to use the designer series paper. So here's another one. This is also another piece of the designer series paper. This is on garden green. Let me just take a sip of my tea real quick. Sorry about that, guys. It is like 6 o'clock in the morning here on Thursday morning. I'm trying to get a lot done before I have to leave to go see my mom today. So this time I stamped this in garden green, and I used my colored pencils actually to color it in, because I tried using my die markers, but it took away the ability to see some of the design of the, you know, like the thickness here. So I stamped it again, and I used, was it this one? Yes, this one has, this set, which is set 2, has garden green, and this set, which is set 1, has real red. So I used my Stampin' Up! Colored pencils, and I didn't watercolor them. However, I did take the blender pens, and I like using these. Now, I have had these for a long time, since before I was a demonstrator, and I've only ever used one so far, both ends of one. And you just use them and then clean off the tips. They look stained, and they are stained, but they're okay as long as you take it and wipe it off till you don't see any more color coming off. These are the blender pens, and I like them with the colored pencils, unless you have a large area, and then I like the aqua painters. But I did blend these with the blender pens. And then I took my Wink of Stella once again and went over the little berries with those. I put a piece of real red ribbon, cotton ribbon, tied a bow, and here I used a 1 3/8 inch scallop punch and cut out the real red, and I stamped in real red for you with love and cut that out with the 1 1/8 inch. And then behind here I have this ribbon because I thought it just needed a little sparkle, and this is the Very Vanilla, they call this metallic edge ribbon gold in the catalog. This is annual catalog. But the gold has very vanilla, and the silver edge one has whisper white. Just so you know, I love them both. They're so versatile. So that is the front of that. And this is just a piece of the designer series paper, and I'll show you the whole pack of paper. And I did bump this whole piece up on dimensionals. You could use foam tape if you have it. See, the large dimensionals, and 3 of the blingy things again. And inside I just put a piece of the paper here. I feel like I need a little something in the corner maybe, but no, well. So that is the second card featuring the Toile Christmas and Christmas Cardinal, Toile Christmas stamp set and coordinating Christmas Cardinal dies, which look like, I do that every time, this. So it cuts out your cardinal, it cuts out your branch, which I did on the first one here. It cuts out some swirls. It cuts out some leaves that aren't a stamp. And it cuts out your cardinal, of course, and this sentiment, and also there's a larger sentiment, which I thought I used on something, but maybe not. I maybe did not use May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. Oh, I think I was going to. One second. And then yeah, I did. Here it is. May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. I was going to use that, and then I changed my mind on something. So I did not end up using that, but I stamped it out so you could see it. And I didn't end up using these two swirlies. And there are swirlies here, and there's extra leaves here that aren't part of the stamp set. So there you go. Okay, now on to the next two. Remember, this is out of a whole suite. Let me put these in here so I don't lose them. Get them out of the way. Okay, so those are the first two cards. The next card I went a little different, and I also decided to use the Tidings All Around stamp set, which is part of the same suite, the Toile Tidings Suite. So this one uses this wreath and Tidings of Comfort and Joy here, and also the, oops, wrong set, all around wreath dies, which go with this set. And then there's another stamp in the catalog, the holiday catalog, that also works with these dies. Let me show you the dies, because I want to show you a tip also. These are photopolymer. The cardinal ones are the red rubber cling. So here's the stamp, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but let's see. You see this little point? That is the top. If you stamp with that lined up, that becomes kind of important, because the die also has that point. And if you line that up with it, it lines up beautifully to cut it out, and you don't get excess white or very vanilla in this case around the edges or anything. And then it also has this die, which we'll use on the last card, and I'll show you that then. And it also has these are not part of the stamps, but these cut out little branches, and I did use these on this card, but I didn't use these today. So that is the all around wreath dies. And what coordinates with the other, and I have an extra one here. See, this one, I didn't realize about that point. Oops. And it did not line up yet. I saved this. I'm going to throw it out. But, and the other thing I wanted to tell you is, see how these indents go in? There are a specific little shape, like this one has a little bent thing. That also helps you line it up. Now let's see where I had that. That would be here, but I didn't realize this was here. And see, I got this off when I cut it, so it's I have too much showing on the side. Anyway, that's my tip. The stamp set has a point. Line that up at 12 o'clock, you know, and then put this at 12 o'clock, and you're going to be good to go for cutting out your wreath. And then this also works with the other set that's in the catalog. I don't remember the name of that, and let me see if I can find it for you real quick. It's this one, and it's more of an autumn wreath, but it uses that same die. So this is called Seasonal Wreaths. It's got Happy Everything, Life is Better with You, Grateful for Your Kindness, and Celebrate Your Day. It does have snowflakes that you could stamp in a wreath style, or flowers, and then these are, like I said, oak leaves and things, more for autumn. But that goes with this same die set, so if you get this bundle, you might want to pick up that stamp set as well. I don't have that particular one, so I can't show it to you in person. Okay, so for this one, I wanted to use this piece of Designer Series paper, and I wanted to use the wreath, but it needed to be separated, broken up. So I pulled out a piece of Sahara sand, and I ran it through the Pinewood Planks 3D embossing folder. It looks like this, and there's the item number. And I have them going horizontally. And then what I did is I actually took this sponge and the Delicata copper ink, and I just sort of rubbed it all over the Pinewood planks to give it some sparkle, to kind of make the wood grain pop a little more. And I also went around the edges of it. Now, later, I decided I wanted to use this gold ribbon on the wreath, and so I stamped the sentiment in gold, but it's okay. I think it looks alright even though this has copper with it. This was just on a piece of 1.5 inch wide Very Vanilla. And what I did on that, because I didn't want it sticking out the edges of the wreath, is I pulled out my I can't remember if it was the 2 inch or 2 1/4 inch, but one of my circle punches, opened it up, and this is about the right size, right? And let me get the other end because that one's kind of wrinkled, and stuck it in like this. Like I put it underneath the wreath first before I put it down, and I kind of penciled where the edges were, so I knew I had to go in a little bit from that, and then where that pencil mark was, I came in. This is not going to let me do it. I did come in. Why won't it let me do it? Okay. Okay, well, you could do it. No, you can't do it like that. You have to go in like this because, here we go. Kind of got it in the middle and then just punched. And that way, the edge was rounded, and when I glued it down, it's not gonna stick out of the wreath. I tried it sticking out of the wreath too, and I didn't like it. So that's how I did that. After I stamped the Tidings of Comfort and Joy in the Delicata golden glitz or whatever. I think that's really pretty. And then this is the Very Vanilla ribbon with the gold edging. And here are two of the dies that go with this that aren't in the stamp set, and I just cut them out of Garden Green. They're tucked up under the wreath and hanging down, and then this is on the wreath. And then here are one of each of three of the Toile Tidings glittering enamel dots, and they really do have some sparkle. They bring out the gold also. And then inside, okay, this is left over from, where's the first card? This first card, I had cut this piece originally to be like a regular mat. Then when I used the stitched rectangles, it gives you stitching on the negative side as well. So I used that piece, put it around a piece of Very Vanilla, and then glued them both down as my mat. So I have like a picture frame on the inside for that card, and it is stitched as this one was. This, however, is not. Okay, so that is card number 3. And then still using this stamp set, but not using the wreath, I came up with this. Now this is a different paper. You see, this one is all just like plants and things like that. This one has the buck, the fox, the little bunny, okay, a bear, and a lot of different trees. Well, then I brought out the Nature's Beauty, because this bunny is the same as the bunny in the picture. So I wanted to use that, so I stamped him out in soft suede, I think. Then there's this little thing of grass, and I stamped that on the Very Vanilla before I put it on this Garden Green. And this one I also stamped in soft suede, but it looks a little darker, and that is this individual tree here. And then I also die cut out of the all around wreath dies these pieces. I cut 4 of them out. There's 2 dies in the set. So I put 2 here, And I put that on the back of the Very Vanilla in between it and the Garden Green piece. This was out of a 2-inch circle punch, and the other one is the Starburst, which is about 2 1/8, and I did that in Garden Green. This I actually stamped the 'Tis the Season from Tidings All Around, and I used the Copper Delicata, and I kind of wish I had just used Garden Green, but anyway, or put it in my Stamparatus and stamped it twice because it looks a little light to me. These trees, I don't know if you'll notice, but there's trees here. These are the same trees. This little individual tree. I think that's the same tree. That might be a little different. But these trees, and there's some vegetation that I have covered. But this and this, they are the same as in this stamp set from Nature's Beauty. The fox is the same. The bunny is the same. The deer is different. So yeah, you've got some things in here that absolutely coordinate with this Toile Tidings stamp set from the Nature's Beauty set. And again, I used 3 of the Garden Green enamel dots and a piece of the Garden Green, what is this called? Double stitched ribbon, 3/8 inch, about 10 yards. It looks a lot shinier in the catalog. I mean, it does sort of have a shininess to it, but it's not satin. It feels more cottony to me. I don't know. The green part is more shiny than the edges. So I hope you're able to see that good. I really like it though. So that I put up and down vertically on the paper, and I tacked it down on the back before I glued that paper down. Then I glued the paper onto the thick Whisper White cardstock. Then I stamped this and flagged it. I had done all this stamping, and this are both up on dimensionals. I don't know if you can, there you can maybe see a little elevation. And then on the inside, I just used a piece of Garden Green and Very Vanilla to coordinate the colors and add a little weight to the back too. So there you have it. There is card number 4. One sec, I have to take a sip of tea. And we're already at 33 minutes. Last card, I went back to red. So this is a real red. Wow, that looks orangey. This is real red cardstock. There, it looks red. This is the gold, I'm going to get to the right name, glimmer paper? Gold glimmer paper. And this is from the Detailed Deer Thinlits dies, or dies, I'm just calling them. They are in the annual catalog. They're left over from last year. There is a coordinating stamp set. I don't happen to have it. But I thought, wouldn't that look pretty with that deer over this wreath? So this is the back of this paper with the animals. One side is green, Garden Green. One side is real red. So I just flipped it over, had another piece in the real red. I die cut the wreath that doesn't have a stamp. I only did it once. Some of the things on the catalog show it nice and full and done multiple times, but I just did it once using this one here. Okay, and then these little flower things, those are out of the Detailed Deer dies. There's they have these little flowers in both solid and hollow. So I cut 5 of them out, 2 solid, 3 hollow, and I filled them with these real red rhinestone basic jewels. They're in the annual catalog, and they match this set beautifully as well. So I put one in each of the centers. The deer is bumped up on mini dimensionals, except his little legs and antlers because they're too thin, but his body and head is bumped up to give it dimension. And then here I just stamped 'Tis the Season on Very Vanilla with real red, made it fit all the way across this paper. And this gold piece here, I cut it first to make sure it would work on a card as the front, and then I cut the deer out of that. Now the deer I cut twice to give him a little support. I cut him out of Very Vanilla and also the gold glitter, and I glued it together. You know what? I think I'm going to put a little red dot right at his eye. Just occurred to me, you can't really see his eye, and there's a little indent there, so I'm gonna maybe put that right there. I'll have to come back and put a little glue. I like that better. There we go. He's got red eye. Anyway, I think that's pretty. And then I just used a couple more down here. And then inside, these are out of the Nature's Beauty right here, and I just stamped it 4 times in the corners. And then the Be Merry is out of the Tidings All Around in real red, because it says 'Tis the Season, which I have here, and then Be Merry. So I like how that turned out too. And I hope you liked my 5 cards. Let me lay them all out for you. And if you, I do apologize for not being able to make them on Tuesday night with you, but these are what I made, and you can get them. There's a picture in the beginning of the video, but if you can get them by the items I used by ordering through Nick's Crafty Corner Party. Again, we'd greatly appreciate it. All you do is put things in your cart via the link I have down below the video to my web store. And check that out, because I have my calendar out there updated with when things are supposed to be going up that relate to Stampin' Up. And then hit shop now. It takes you to the Stampin' Up website proper, and it'll say you are shopping with Deb Houck. And then when you go to check out, after you put items in your cart, then you put in the bottom left hand side, there should be a host code box down at the bottom. That's where you put the host code in, and that way Nyx gets credit. If you don't put that in, she won't get credit. I still will, but she won't. So if you want to give Nyx some credit and help her get some goodies, please use her host code. And I do appreciate you shopping with me and through Nyx's party, but definitely I appreciate you shopping with me. I'm a fairly new demonstrator, just a little over a year, and I'm trying to get my business going. So thank you so much for helping support me throughout this past year. It means so much to me, really. Alright guys, that's it for now. Come back soon and I'll have the paper pumpkin unboxing, and it's called Bon Appetit. See you soon. Hugs, love, and peace.